Appearance on Dion's Daily Dose does not imply endorsement from or by any candidate or guest. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by Dion Bergeron or Dion's Daily Dose are his own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of any guest. Material and information presented is for general information purposes only. The Dion's Daily Dose name in all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owners, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service. If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose.
There we go. There we go. Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is not my normal format. I'm not doing Dion's Daily Dose tonight. The roundtable that I attended for the politicking app, by the way, is the host of this. It's from a young lady named Jordan from the area who designed an app from the ground up. Look it up. It's called Politicking with a K. Check it out. But that's not why I'm here. I am here to tell you some stuff that I learned today. They had an event, memorial service at Lake Station. The VFW hosted it. And I got there. It was my intention just to kind of hang out in the background, show my respect, show my support, and, move on. I was actually invited to speak, which was a surprise for me because I didn't have anything prepared. I wasn't there to hand out cards and push my platform or anything. I just wanted to show my support. But I got an opportunity to speak, but more importantly, I got an opportunity to connect with the VFW there. And I received some very tragic news. The VFW, not just in Lake Station, but everywhere, is struggling. And they told me they're not the only veterans organization right now that is having very real financial problems. Very real financial problems. They are very, very close to having to shut the doors, shut down. They need your help. They need my help. They need everyone. If possible, donate, go to their events. We've got some stuff coming up. The next thing they have is actually on June 6th and 7th. They are having a craft and rummage sale. It is post number 9323. It's in Lake Station, and it is 2750 Central Avenue. Okay, it's really big. It's really hard to miss. It's on Central. You'll see it. But they're going to have, again, a craft and rummage sale. It's June 6th and 7th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you can, any amount helps. They are desperate right now. They actually are sending a letter out to all of their members, auxiliary members, everything. I'm not going to read you the whole letter, but I am gonna tell you some of the excerpts. Financially, we have been operating on a shoestring, but this pandemic has pushed us over the edge. To begin with, we have a rather large mortgage along with a NIPSCO bill. Normally, we play catch up from March to October. We have lost 3 months of Hall earnings, and with the new rulings, have not been getting any new ones, right? They can't host their events. They can't do their fish fries. They can't do their breakfast. They can't do the things that normally help them make it. Again, during this closing, we have had no income. This means no bingo, no open post, no fish fry, no money. Last Friday, we had our first fish fry, and it was good. Soon, we will be able to restart bingo. It has not been well attended. And look, I get it, right? Let's face it. Most of the people who go to bingo are older. They're our at-risk population. Says members, and I'm addressing this whether you're a member or not. Please help us where you can. Support our projects. Donate time and money. Remember, we have 2 halls that are rentable for small or large parties. And mail donations, right? You can donate. They are a certified nonprofit. They have a tax ID number. Get in touch with me if you want to donate to the VFW. I will get you all the information that you need. You can mail donations to 2750 Central Avenue, Lake Station, Indiana, 46405. I will put that in the description. Uh, Look, and just to kind of summarize, a quick thank you to the auxiliary and some guests who took the time and money from their own pockets to use this time to do some major cleaning, repairs, and remodeling, which I got a chance to see, and they did a really, really good job. The hall looks amazing, massive too. But please come down to admire their work and thank them. Your post home is shiny clean, and it is. There's new tile right when you come in. There's new carpet in areas. This came out of their pocket, right? They set this up. The VFW is the face of our veterans. You don't know who's a veteran unless they go around telling you, right? The VFW it's the premier organization that represents the veterans. It's the place, right? My grandfather was in it. Every veteran I know is involved in some way, shape, or form with them, or at least should be. The VFW is awesome. I have nothing but good things to say about them, and they're hurting. They're hurting really, really badly right now. All of them. Your local VFW, right? Whether Lake Station, Hobart, there's a lot of them. They're all in bad shape. I'm sure it's not isolated to just that post. I'm sure all of them could really use your help. Sarah asked, "Am I a veteran?" I am not. My family has a proud history of serving. I did not get the opportunity. I did try to join. I was actually going to be a Marine, but I couldn't. They had more than enough that I fell in the list of, and I was not able to join. But I did talk to them at length, and I actually can join the auxiliary though, because my grandfather was, veteran of foreign wars. Yeah. That's another thing that I learned that I actually didn't know. If you have a family member, father, grandfather, mother, grandmother, that would qualify to join the VFW, you can join their auxiliary. Yeah.
My grandfather had a Purple Heart and 2 Bronze Stars in World War II.
Yeah. So, Liz.
Brag moment.
Yeah, just the little brag moment. 2 Bronze Stars?
2 Bronze Stars.
2 Bronze Stars.
Her grandfather.
In World War II. Yeah, my grandfather actually served in the Air Force and the Army.
Your step-grandpa was at Iwo Jima.
Yeah, my step-grandfather was at Iwo Jima. He was just outside the picture of the people putting the flag up on the island. They need your help. I'm not doing this video. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I'm not doing this video to pimp me.
Pay the fee to help them.
Yeah.
Just go home.
If you're not interested in a craft and rummage sale, just go and help them out, right? Give some money, donate to them. Look, this election is going to happen one way or another. People are going to come and go. Our representatives are going to come and go. The VFW is eternal, right? They represent our veterans. I fully support them. It was heartbreaking to me to learn just how close they are to having to shut the doors.
If it's one, it's more.
Yeah, and if it just that one, right, it's widespread. Unfortunately, I'm going to continue to see what I can do about it. I'm going to make some calls, but I wanted to let you know that if you really want to make a difference, if you really want to help an American institution that needs your help, the VFW. I never really thought about the fact that these organizations, they use the things like the fish fries, the breakfast, all these things, and American Legion, I've heard, is having a hard time too.
Like a national
you think of it as a national organization. I'm sure they're fine. They're not fine. They're not fine. They're struggling very, very hard. One more time, I'll give you the address that you can mail any donations that you want to give. You know what? As a matter of fact, you can also go online.
Or local Legion.
Yeah, find your local hall. This one happens to be 9323, but I will give you the address across the bottom of the screen. I just wanted to get this up. The politicking roundtable that we had was interesting. I actually heard some very, very disturbing information during that that I'm going to relay to you in just a moment.
Lots of promises.
Yeah, and of course, lots of promises. I moved Trump for that because I don't want anybody triggered. Some of these people that were there have a deep and intense hatred for the president, and it just wasn't worth it, you know.
And also the mayor.
Yeah, and the mayor. Some of the things that were said were very, very interesting. He was called out on multiple occasions for messing with people's signs, which I'm going to talk about in just a moment. Okay, so that should be all right. So, oh, hold on. Let's make this scroll, save. All right, so here's the address for the VFW in Lake Station. The post there that you can send donations to. They really, really need your help. I'm going to see what I can do by making. This is the first thing I can do, right? I can tell you. I can tell all the members or all the residents, right, of the first district that they really need help. Sam says, but triggering is fun. It is, but
they're into like delusion.
The reason, the whole purpose of this roundtable, which I would like to add, the last one that we had that was hosted by St. Timothy Church, myself and one other candidate were the only Republicans to attend. No, I'm not going to say anything bad about Bill.
He's adorable.
Yeah, Bill is adorable. But this one, I was the only Republican to attend at all. And they actually asked in the chat, they said, where are the other candidates, right? I'd like to know why some of these people didn't show up. And I said, you know, I don't know for sure, but I will tell you that on both sides of the aisle, we have a serious problem with people that are willing to reach across the aisle, that are willing to sit down and hear what the other side has to say. Oh, Sarah says, oh my gosh, he calls me all the time. So sweet. Bill Powers?
Adorable.
Bill Powers calls you? He is so sweet. I love Bill. He is amazing. He is amazing. Yeah, Chris Wells asked, no Leva? No, Mark Leva was not there. No one else was there. As a matter of fact, a couple of the more extreme candidates weren't there. Now, I will tell you, Reardon was at the one on Friday. Oh, okay. Sarah says, yes, he's called me a few times. Good for him. I'm glad. He is a sweetheart.
I think he realized
he seems to be. Yeah, he seems to be. I will say this. I was really surprised at how well he was able to utilize the technology, because my understanding when I talked to him at the USW, my understanding was he didn't have a website. He didn't have social media. He didn't have a smartphone. All of this was a little beyond him. And again, that was my impression.
But them other people should know how to use Zoom and unmute their mic.
Yeah, you know, I'm going to tell you this.
I know how to do it.
One of the big issues that I noticed, not just tonight, but in the last Zoom meeting, was these people don't know how to use their technology. They don't know how to unmute the mics. And I'm talking about people like McDermott. I'm talking about some people that should know better, right? That should be up to date on technology. When you're the mayor of a major Northwest Indiana city, you should know how to use Zoom. But that aside, so a couple of things that I found interesting during the Zoom meeting. Chris Wells says that was factual as of March. I'm talking about Bill Powers, right? Because at the time I talked to him, yeah. But he was there at the Zoom meeting previously, also hosted by the Politicking app. Check it out. I'm going to download it. I'm going to check it out. Apparently, it's supposed to help us bridge the gap with the youth and allow them to kind of see what candidates are about, see what they stand for. I just haven't had a chance. I've been, like I said, I was out today at the Memorial Day service. And one of the things that I said when they were like, yeah, come on, speak. I was like, okay. I mentioned this before. The people running around saying Happy Memorial Day, right? For veterans that I've spoken to, they have told me it's not exactly a happy day, right? It's a day of remembrance. It's a day of mourning. It's a day to remember the sacrifices that these people have given their lives. They've given their lives so that we can, complain to each other on the internet, so that we can, complain about what this person did and that person did and how bad this person's doing. They gave their lives for that. So a couple of just really, really quick, and then I'm going to wrap it up. During the meeting, the Zoom meeting tonight, one of the questions that was asked was, do you support the Green New Deal? I have made no bones about the fact that the Green New Deal, as written, is not even remotely realistic. It has no chance of ever happening. I don't support that because, number one, it would destroy the economy of not only this area, but the country. But the way that it's written in its current form is absolutely ridiculous. Like every other candidate had, instead of going, no, that's crazy, or it's not realistic, every other candidate's like, oh, I support parts of it. Well, I support the idea that, things need to be better in certain areas, but you either support it or you don't. And no. They also, there was, Medicare for all, right? Do you support Medicare for all? And again, no, I do not. However, I have given my ideas for a way to give healthcare to as many people as possible while providing a choice and keeping our free market. It is what it is. Two of the most interesting, because I'd say both of these, two of the most interesting events or things that happened in, Sam makes a great point, and you're absolutely right, Sam. It says it ties into Agenda 21 too much. Absolutely. If you are not familiar with Agenda 21, I'm not going to go into it here. Look it up. It is very, very, very real. So during the chance given to him to speak, Costello, right? Scott Costello, he actually used these words. A very sweet guy, and I believe he's a progressive, right? He's one of those people that buy into the lines that and I think his heart's in the right place. He's a social worker, but he actually used these words. He says, I'm a progressive. I want to be one of the voices in Congress, and I want to be one of the progressives like Ilhan Omar.
No, he didn't.
He did. He did. You weren't in the room at the time. He did. He actually used the name Ilhan Omar and tied himself to her. I was like, okay, all right, yeah, that's terrifying. That is terrifying. Jack, thanks for joining us. For those of you just joining at the end, I just wanted to let you know the VFW is in really, really, really bad shape. They need your help. I have the one that I went to today and spoke to everyone there. That was at the ceremony. We went back, we talked, and they told me about the problems that they're having, the very real problems. So anyway, the other thing that was interesting is, without getting into bashing candidates, because I'm not going to do that, all right? I'm just going to say that there is a candidate who consistently cannot follow rules. Mm-hmm. There is a candidate who has been told this is the way it's going to be, and they don't do what they're told.
They touch everybody's side.
It's happened many, many times on different forums I've been to, forums, whatever. I will tell you, it did not happen at the Republican debate. It is not a Republican that I am talking about right now. But it's someone who everyone else follows the rules. When their time is over, they stop talking. When they're told to sit down, they sit down. Unfortunately, This person does not do that. I'm going to give you an update on SignGate 2020. So, and this actually ties into the Zoom meeting that we had, the politicking meeting.
The supporters who have their signs up, these are the wrong supporters because they just keep putting the signs back up and put new signs up. They're awesome.
I can neither confirm nor deny that it starts with an M, but the person that I'm talking about, so I will say, believe it or not, not the signs. The signs, it starts with an M. It's not who you think that can't follow rules. Your first instinct is McDermott, right? You think that's who I'm talking about.
Nope.
I will tell you it's not McDermott that I'm talking about in that case. So figure the rest out on your own. So during the meeting, who was it? Was it Melissa? Melissa Borum, yeah. She said, I am tired of finding, whoa, holy cow. Okay, I just got a message. Sorry about that. I just got a message about my daughter. So she said, I'm tired of seeing signs from candidates in my community with the face darkened.
I don't know who that is.
Now, I don't know who she's referring to, but how ridiculously disturbing is that? Really? According to her, it's an intentional thing, and a particular candidate is putting signs up and darkening the face.
It's in signs. I think she also said mailing.
And mailings as well. I don't know about, but she definitely said signs.
I don't know who's putting
I don't know. Yeah,
signs
I don't know who's putting their face on signs in her area, but I'm going to tell you. So we have had the numbers are climbing, right? As far as supporters that have contacted us that have said, hey, your people are pulling your signs up, right? In some cases, they're just left on the ground. In some cases, they are actually been replaced by a McDermott sign. Now, I want to make some things very clear. This in and of itself does not obviously prove that the McDermott team was behind it, right? Just so you know, it's a criminal act to mess with other people's property. But I don't know what kind of silly little games they're playing. I've said it online before, and I'm going to say it here. McDermott or whoever, especially if it's on the left, they're not running against me right now. So the point of pulling my sign out and replacing it with a McDermott sign is one of two things. Either just a message, right? Or it's to throw off whoever actually is doing it. I don't know if anyone is that, criminally sophisticated to go through all that trouble, but
McDermott bragged that he's outspending and outrageous.
Yeah, and McDermott did brag. Yeah, McDermott did brag about the number of signs that he has and all the money that he's spent on them and all this, but it's so silly. It really is. Help your VFW, help your local organizations. They're really struggling right now. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a little more in-depth video about all the crazy things going on, but more importantly, my plans moving forward. I guess Disarm the Deep State has released their video.
National video.
Yeah, national video for me. So it's gone live. Yeah, it went live this morning. So
national, baby.
Yeah. Connie says Memorial Day. We used to get family together and cousins, aunts, grandparents. Yep. Went all over southern Indiana and visit grave sites for all our dead relatives and put flowers. Then I didn't know it was just for servicemen, but God bless them all. Yeah. And here's the thing. It doesn't have to be, right? It's just memorial, right? Remember, it's just different than, it's not just all about hot dogs and burgers and all that stuff. There's a very real, a very somber reason behind the holiday. And my grandfather could have had a full funeral, honors and all that. And my grandmother didn't want to go through all that. So he's buried in LaPorte in a small little grave site. But it's days like Memorial Day when just reflect on the fact that you have the freedom to, whine and complain and do the kind of things that we do because of the people that gave their lives so that you could do those things. So yeah, Tani says this is politics. It is indeed. It is indeed. It's, if nothing else, it's vastly entertaining. One of the questions that were asked that got actually changed from what I was sent to what I thought it would actually be is how you're going to reach the youth, right? Because let's face it, the new generation is kind of out of touch as far as politics go. The DNC has done kind of a good job at roping in the youth because of the college brainwashing that's going on, the liberalism. But I want to tell you guys, according to the most recent 2018 survey, right, done by Stats Indiana, Indiana's public data utility, over 66,252 individuals ages 18 to 24 live in District 1, right? Or the immediate region. Lake County has 41,955, Porter County 15,280, LaPorte County 9,017. So 66,000 between 18 and 24. If we cannot tap into that demographic, if we cannot reach that demographic, then our time is going to be gone. Those represented in this age group and those even younger feel separated from politics and from community decision making. Often being written off due to their age or perceived lack of knowledge or experience, they are left feeling marginalized, struggling to gain respect of elected officials. Many times they want to change their community, their world, but they're dismissed. We fail them by excluding them and oftentimes limiting their educational and economic opportunities. Politicians ignore them until it's election time, and then many go to them for their vote. No wonder limitations and dismissiveness leaves our younger residents frustrated with the status quo. Operating our district as it has been for the last 90 years is the purest definition of status quo. Let's change that. Look, we have, here's what I'd like to do, right? I'd like to do youth mainstreaming. I want to hear from the young residents in all the areas. Connie said, Liz, you will need tranquilizers before this is over. LOL. Welcome to NWI Politics. Yeah, she'll be all right. It just took her a minute to get caught up. Once she realized,
I struggle with.
Yeah. Anyway, I want to meet with youth councils and advisory boards. I want to form a youth advisory team, right, to remain alert to issues and concerns. And I want to allow open communication. I want to encourage interns in the regional offices. I want to get them exposure to government service and government involvement. All of these things are things that I'd like to accomplish. And I just want to tell you at the Zoom meeting, right? One of the things that we're asked at the end is, let's say you don't win, right? Obviously, statistically, most of you are not going to win your primary. Do you still plan on being involved in your community? And if so, how? I said, look, I am the only candidate, right? To my knowledge, maybe there's another that has, and I don't know, but I said it at the previous Zoom meeting with these people, and I said it today. Assuming all these people on the left, right, minus one, do not win their primary, I am more than willing to hear from them as to what the people that back them, because every single person has their group of supporters. Every single person has a group of people that says, yes, this person represents my interests. This person believes what I believe in. I want to hear from them, right? I want to hear from them, especially if I win the general. I want to know what voices have you heard? What have these people told you? Why? What is the most important concern to them? I'm not going to change my entire platform, right? Because what I'm running on, I truly believe in. But I think it's critically important to listen to the voices of the entire district, not just the right, not just the left, not just the independents, but everyone. What is on your mind? What, what makes you afraid? What makes you happy? What are you most concerned about moving forward, not just with the district, but with the country? Because our job is to go to Washington, D.C. Our job is to represent a voice for the people in our nation's government. Our voice isn't to go and, our job isn't to go and enact our policies. Our job is to go and enact the policies of the people. I report to you. You're my boss, right? All of you. That's what I want. And some people aren't going to agree. Some people are going to have these wild ideas, but we should listen to them. And I don't think there's enough of that. I don't think that there's enough people that are willing to listen to voices from the other side, that are willing to reach across the aisle. What?
People want to be listened
to. Yeah, people just want to be listened to, right? They want to be looked in the eye and told, I understand what you're saying. I understand that's a concern for you. So there were some other questions like the issues with race relations in Indiana 01, community policing, and how can we form more of a trust, right? Between, this wasn't the question, but it's kind of the gist of it is, we have trust issues, right, between the police and members of certain communities. How can we fix that? How can we bridge that? And one of the things that I told him, I said, well, I was a correctional officer in Indiana State Prison for 7 years. You all know this. But one of the things that I saw while I was there and in my experience with law enforcement is we have very real problems in our system, right? Oh, one more thing before I go. So the guy that aligned himself with Ilhan Omar, he also wants to do away with cash bail, right? Bail reform. Now we're seeing how this worked in New York and California. I think we need to be very, very wary of jumping on that train, right? I will say that there are big concerns in our criminal justice system that need to be addressed, and bail reform is a very, very dangerous topic that can easily lead to situations like we have in New York, where a guy previously convicted of murder was released and went on to kill a police officer. These are things that worry me, right? So we need to be open to listening to people, but we also need to say, okay, what's the most important thing to you, right? So Sarah asked, is the Zoom meeting you're talking about open to the public? The one with St. Timothy's was. I don't know if this one was. I know there were a lot of people watching. I just got a link. It was for politicking. That's the name of the app that this lady created, young lady. And I don't know where it was broadcast to. The St. Timothy one was that Thursday or Friday? It was before the weekend. I think it was Friday, but Thursday, right? Either way, it was at the end of, right before the weekend. That one was on St. Timothy Church, and that one was broadcast to the public. This one I'm not sure about, but if I can get the link for it, I will post it. I will let you know. Yeah, right. So I understand. Yeah, Sarah, I kind of know what you meant. I'm going to see if I can get information so that all of you can watch it. I'll post it on there. I would, if I can get it, and I would pay close special attention to some of the things said by a couple of the left candidates. Well, which is basically everybody but me. But yeah, there was talk of the double track project. There was talk of all these things. And I'm going to tell you, there was so much pandering. There was so much pandering, like blatantly obvious pandering. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I'm gonna try to get you the link. The first one was good though. I think I could have done better. All they gave us was very vague topics, especially the one last week. Very, very vague. Well, this might come up or this might come up, and that was about it. So I wasn't able to do the kind of research that I normally do for like debates or forums. So it was kind of think on the fly. I also, because I go in alphabetical order on these things, apparently, even though today, right, was they had us drew numbers and still I went first. I don't know how they did that, but so I didn't get a chance to hear anybody else's answer. I was the one that answered first every time. I could have done better, obviously. You can always do better. There's always room for improvement, but I don't think it was terrible. I got the idea out that, said, yeah. So Rich asks, many of us seen up to a 225% increase in health insurance. Look, our healthcare system needs help. It needs widespread reform, right? There are options available to us, but we have to be willing to take the steps. I don't think that Medicare for all is the solution to those problems. I think a combination of price tag transparency and deductible security, right? Those two together. Look, Trump signed the executive order for price tag transparency, and it's a start. It's a start. But remember that all the things that, our executive orders can easily be tossed out when the next president comes in. I would like to see congressional support for price tag transparency. And actually, there's even better than price tag transparency. And that is,
many of the countries
you're going to have to come over here because they probably can't hear you over there.
Many of the countries that they say, socialized medicine still have a private employer tier, the top tier. That's the tier you want. To have the Medicare for all equivalent, that's the bottom rung. People still strive in Germany, Switzerland, Sweden to have that employer insurance, and they don't acknowledge that.
Right. That's one of the things. But there are actually many things that we can do to improve accessibility to our healthcare, to save money, because the country of Singapore, right, it uses price tag transparency and deductible security together. And projections say we could save $2.4 trillion a year when providing actual good healthcare to everyone. It's a lot of numbers, but we have to start making things happen. Of course, given the forum, given the target audience, which the target audience was the basically the Gary community. All right, on both of these. The first one was which is, of course, we know, a very heavily Democrat area. But I did tell people, I said, look, this area has been Democrat for 90 plus years, just as far as the representative that goes to Washington. Are you satisfied with what the federal government has done in those 90 years? Have they improved your community? Is it better? Right? It should be the shining beacon of hope for everywhere if the lies, the promises that they tell you were true. And we can all look around and say, maybe not, right? Maybe not so much. Maybe it's time for, it was the Trump administration.
Don't forget, Obama and Hillary were against gay marriage. Trump from day one.
Yeah, and look, there's so much divisiveness because of the media. There really is. And I blame the mainstream media for it. We've seen twists and turns and taken a piece of this and a piece of that. Rich says, I pay $2,300 per month for your insurance. Yeah, it's nuts. It is nuts. We have options. Look, and this is one thing that I tell people, right? I understand the appeal, especially the way that it gets presented to us, of Medicare for all. I understand looking at that as a normal person without all the facts and going, well, that sounds great, right? That sounds good. But you have to look at everything together. You have to look at the fact that Medicare pays a tiny fraction to doctors and hospitals that private insurance pays. Why does that matter? That's a good thing, right? Well, if the only pay they're going to get is the bare minimum per Medicare, right? Many of these people aren't going to go to be a doctor. They're going to become an engineer. They're going to become something else. And we're going to no longer be the most medically advanced country, right? These are all things that we have to think about. And there are solutions. There are definitive solutions to these problems, but we have to work together to make them happen. So this actually went on longer than I was anticipating, but it's really important that I wanted to get it out there about the VFW. They need your help. They need your help. Help where you can. There's actually two things coming up. The first one, like I said, is the Craft and Rummage Sale, June 6th and 7th. Sorry, June 6th and 7th from 8 to 4. Again, 2750 Central Avenue, post 9323 and Lake Station. They really need your help. There's another one coming up in July. I'll talk more about that. I actually left the paper for that one in the truck because I came home just in time to get to come in and get on this roundtable event. But yeah, I'll see if I can get you the link. For those of you who want to see either Thursday or Friday, I don't remember which day it was, but last week's roundtable event that was held by St. Timothy's Church, you can go to their website or their Facebook page, St. Timothy's Church in Gary. See all of you tomorrow. Same, the regular bat time, regular bat channel. Thank you for joining me. God bless you. God bless the USA, and keep the people who lost their lives for this country in your thoughts and prayers today.
If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose. This has been Dion's Daily Dose, hosted by Dion Bergeron. Executive producers, Sean Holgram and Michael Beebe. Copyright 2020. Dion's Daily Dose, all rights reserved.